It's good to be here. We're going to practice this afternoon after we've been to class. We have a 6 a.m. flight in the morning, so we're driving to Houston tonight. But we had good practice on Friday and Sunday, correcting some of our mistakes. And Stephen F. Austin gave us all we could handle. Of course, they took it out on their next NAIA opponent, 137-46, but that was NAIA. Our team is shaping up. I've had a different lineup every ball game, and I'm sure I'll have 3 different lineups when we go over to the islands. People say, why do you change your lineup so much? Because of the world that we live in. You better be ready for COVID. You better be ready for vaccinations. You better be ready for portal. You better be ready for good play from your bench. And I think our job in November, December is trying to find maybe not the best lineup for January, February, but the lineup that will work and the adjustments that you have to make during the season in every sport. Look at my Cowboys yesterday. Without a wide receiver, they weren't too good when you put 8 in the box. And same thing's happening in every sport. The world that we're living in, the adjustments have to be made before the game in case you cannot make them during the game. And that's what we're doing. I like my depth of my team. I like that we're healthy. But it scares me to death that I need to be ready for all the adjustments during the year. Open it up for questions.
Let's go to the left side to Robert Sessman from the Eagle.
Gary, talking about adjustments, so what have you done to possibly cut down the turnovers in the future and improve your defense looking at the last game?
Well, when you pass the ball, we're always saying put it in the pocket. A lot of times it's the receiver that's not moving to the open spot or not into the flow. That is just something that too many times in our game, turnovers are calls not because the defense created it, is because us on offense we throw the ball instead of pass the ball. And we've got to realize we'll have more assists if we learn how to pass the ball, and a shooter wants it in. And, of course, we look at the next level. When you look at the NBA or the WNBA games, those are older kids, older people that understand how quick the defense can recover. And it wasn't the press that bothered us so much. It was our half-court offense not being able to pass or screen effectively. And that's just something that we've got to work on. But on the flip side of it, we're leading the nation in three-point field goal percentage. So we must be doing something right. And we're averaging, 47 points field goal percentage, 26 out of 30 from the free throw line last game, because the right 2 people were shooting the free throws. That changes a lot when you get into a routine. But the turnovers, with the different lineup changes that I'm working on, expect those turnovers because I'm playing a lot of kids. And you watched DePaul play Northwestern last night. One team played 7. The other one basically played 7 as well. I want to be able to play 9, 10, or 11 if possible. And that will, if I shorten my rotation, that will cut down the turnovers. But if I shorten my rotation, I've got to deal with all the other variables that you have when you've got a team that is as deep as we do with 14 people. I don't like those problems either, and you know what those are.
Let's go back to TV row. We'll start with Tyler from KBTX and then Mike.
Coach, how does practice or preparation this week change, or does it, knowing that this is your first time away from Reed Arena this year?
I don't know who's more excited, the kids that are going over. My wife's been packing for a day and a half. I just said, everybody's ready. I'm going to enjoy the trip down to Houston, tell you the truth. I mean, nobody's been anywhere. And unless it was a recruiting trip, fly in, fly out, none of us have been anywhere. We've played a scrimmage, an exhibition, 4 straight games at home. We've stayed close to everywhere. We're ready to go and see a different part of the world. But when you go on the islands, whether you're going to Maui or Bahamas or the Virgin Islands, or anything can happen with you and your team. If you're playing an early morning game, like Buzz is fixing to have to play, or you're playing 3 straight late night games like we're going to play, which I'm not too excited about. So it'd be 9 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock there, and which they'll all be late getting started because of the other games. How can you adjust? Can you plan on adversity happening on the islands? The bus is late. The restaurants are closed. The shooting time is screwed up. How can you adjust when you're going on a trip? And the team that's going to win is the adjustment team. And we're already preparing for that. We're going to be the adjustment team that's going to face 3 very good opponents over there.
We'll stay on TV row and go to Mike from KX.
Coach, I know it's only been 4 games, but from what you've seen, is this as good of a shooting team from deep that you've had in recent memory?
We're going to have a 3-point shooting contest today in practice for the first time. And Mike, if I had 5 goals, I'd let you enter it because we'd embarrass you, okay? But I really like how the kids are enjoying shooting the 3, but always it starts from, if you got an inside game to balance, they're paying so much attention to stopping you inside, it's freeing up the shooters on the outside. And when you have Kayla and Jordan and Destiny and Q, they're not afraid. Now, I do not want to lead the SEC in 3-point attempts. I want to be as close to the tops in percentages. Why? Because post players are what gets the other team in foul trouble. Not how many threes you make. You've got to have an inside game. You've got to have balance, and that's what we've always had here. I want balance between the threes and the mid-range game, which is a dying art in women's basketball and men's basketball. Who can hit the elbow jumper? It's usually a drive and a dunk or a 3 for the men, and it's getting that way for the women. I want all 3 aspects.
Let's go to left side front to Zach.
Coach, what can a trip like this do for your program early on in the season, being able to go and obviously spending a lot of time together?
It's going to put a lot of smiles on the faces. It's going to be a lot of bonding. Our workout today will be basically our last workout. Now, we'll go through motions. We get an hour and a half at a high school gym, but basically you're having to do it all between the ears mentally and adjust and play the late game, not get to sleep until 12 o'clock at least, and then all of a sudden you got to be ready to go for the next late night. I want our kids to have fun. We're going to be on a catamaran, snorkeling and all that type of stuff on Wednesday afternoon. We'll go to the beach. I want to have fun, but I want fundamentals. Okay, you win when you have fun and you're able to execute the fundamentals of the game. If we're just going over there to have a great time, we'll get our butts beat by 3 teams that are trying to get into the top 25, particularly South Dakota and Northwestern. Yes, sir.
Go back to Robert Cessna.
It's UConn by 3 at the half, but what about the matchups, particularly with the South Dakota and Northwestern? How do you feel you match up with them?
You're going to see matchup zone with Northwestern. And that'd be like Joe McEwen switching from a left-hand side. He hits a left-hander switching to the right. He's going to be in a matchup zone. South Dakota is going to do a little bit of everything. But they've already played South Carolina and one other good Power 5 team Oklahoma, I believe. So they face good competition. It's them and South Dakota State every year to see who advances out of there. Pittsburgh is the unknown. They're going to play more like DePaul. It's Lance White's third year. He used to be the top assistant at Florida State, West Texas guy. And he's got a lot of the parts to put together a run in the ACC. But we've got to make sure we throw the wrench at Pittsburgh and play them by momentum and film against South Dakota and Northwestern, because you can't practice to get ready for those two. That practice has to be put in today. We'll be working on zone offense, press breakers. We'll be working on switching man-to-man. And we'll be working on a lot of different defenses that we're going to need all of them in this ball game. It's adjustments, get momentum, and it's hard to beat that word momentum.
All right, I think that's all we got for you, Coach.
Appreciate y'all. I'll be thinking of you.